welcome to Health Potion, the show about gaming and health. I'm Jaymii.
I'm Karina.
And today we're going to be talking about conventions! So, here are our top tips about self-care at conventions.
Bring a friend. Or find a friend.
So if you do have someone who shares the same passions and interests as you, that's really great and they want to come, but you have to understand that even if they have the same interests as you, going to conventions isn't everyone's cup of tea. That's
true. And I think it's really important to be able to go off and do your own things. Make sure you keep each other in contact, have phone numbers, but also like the Pocketeers group, they often do a meetup, and so if your friends don't want to go to a convention, don't make them go. Find a friend on the Pocketeers group and you can meet up outside, you can go in together as a group. Everyone wants to be there and you can really, work together, look after each other.
And even if you don't have, say, the Pocketeers group, some conventions like GX have a time where you can, actual space in a room where you can meet people in a safe place. Or it's just heading over to tabletop gaming, because that's a really great way to break the ice and not have to continually talk to someone, but still get to know them while playing a game. Number 2, bring a bag.
A backpack.
Yes, be careful, just bring the amount of obviously weight that you can comfortably carry. Don't pack everything, and then it's really heavy, but definitely bring a bag to carry because you're gonna either buy stuff or you're gonna need a few supplies with you. So try and avoid getting a tote bag, bring a backpack. If you can make it part of your cosplay, do it.
So everyone is gonna go as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with those backpacks because they are kind of awesome. But yeah, it helps distribute the weight, it takes pressure off your body, it kind of helps your spine be nice and straight, you'll be able to walk for longer, you'll be able to stand in line, and you're not going to get as fatigued as quickly, and then you have enough room for all of your swag, and definitely enough room for water and snacks.
Which is our next point! Those food lines and the amount of money you have to pay and the options available are often very, very limited. So you need to be able to rejuvenate on your schedule as well, because if your time that you need to eat and you're waiting in line for something you really, really, really love, you've got to have a snack. Pour a few muesli bars in there, little packets, Ziploc bags are my favorite thing.
Yes, Ziploc bags, you can put not just fruit and nuts in there, you can put fresh fruit, so you can get a mandarin, peel the mandarin, you can have a banana in there, stack your bag nicely. You can really kind of mix it up as to what you want to put in there as well. Again, muesli bars are a great option. You can get some really kind of tasty ones as a bit of a treat. But definitely bring your own snacks, because you don't want to be wasting your precious con hours standing in line for food when you could be standing in line to see Jennifer Hazel.
So expensive sometimes.
Yes, and the markup on the prices and things like water especially, if you can avoid buying it, because usually one bottle will set you back $4 or $5, where in the supermarket you can get a giant one for $1. So.
Or bring your own proper water bottle and save the environment at the same time.
Exactly. Stainless steel ones are really light when they're empty, and then sometimes they'll have rest rooms where you have access to water and you can fill them up while you're there, so you're not having to carry a full bottle of water in.
Wear comfortable shoes.
Yes. Unless it's part of your cosplay and you have a spare little pair of flats in your bag, I would really not recommend wearing high heels. You're not going to get very far in there. Good comfy sneakers so you can go all day. You're not worried about having to rest and put band-aids on and foot fatigue.
My top tip is, if you're prone to getting blisters, put the band-aids on when you put your shoes on, because that way you don't end up with blisters.
Yes, exactly. Get a map, mark on the map where you want to go, and also with your friend that you may have found, or the friends that you've brought who want to be there, mark on the map where you would meet up if you do get lost and you can't get in contact with each other, because that's something that can be quite important if, you know, someone's phone dies or something like that happens. You can have like kind of an emergency meeting point for your group.
And know where the bathrooms are, because bathroom emergencies are always something that happens sometimes. Because it gets very daunting when you're in a crowd and you're just like, where am I? Where is everything? So just having that general first initial, this is where I am and these are where my facilities are, is super, super handy. And plan in advance, I think is super helpful.
Definitely, like put timers on your phone. So, you know, if you want to go see a certain celebrity or go see a certain booth, you can put a reminder on your phone so that you can enjoy without being kind of paranoid as like, oh, am I going to miss it? Am I going to miss it? You can just have a reminder on your phone, you can go off, you can enjoy what you want to do, and then head on over at the right time.
But don't hate yourself if you don't get to see everything that you wanted to see. Just pick out the things that are most important to you, because there's no point wearing yourself down at the end of the day, being stressed and panicked and just exhausted by and beating yourself up about not being able to see every single thing.
Exactly. I think the way conventions are set up, they're huge arenas and they have a huge amount of people that come in and everyone wants to see everything and everyone has a right to be there. But it kind of is a bit impossible to get around and see absolutely everything that you want to see. But if you have like a top 5 and you manage to get those top 5, that's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. And some conventions go for 2 days. You know, invest in a 2-day ticket if you must see as much as possible. But, you know, be there, have fun. You know, you've invested the money and time to be there and just enjoy it for what it is. Really good experience.
And plan breaks, because if you go this thing and this thing and this thing and this thing, you're going to wear yourself out so quickly. Like even waiting in line is really tiring. So at GX we had the 2010 Campfire, and at Comic Con and AbCon there was the Reach Out room run by Reach Out and Checkpoint. And Budget was at AbCon and he got an interview with them. So let's find out more.
So I'm here with Jenny now at the Reach Out room and just having a little bit of a talk about what the Reach Out room is really all about and everything. So Jenny, what is the Reach Out room about and what are kind of the benefits of having it at a convention like this?
So the Reach Out room is a space where attendees of the convention can come and chill out. They can take some time away from the hustle and bustle that's going on downstairs and all around if they feel like they need to reground themselves, or if they want to just have a sit down, rest their feet and reconnect. And it's a way that everybody can enjoy the convention without feeling pressured, without feeling like there's too much to do or there's too many people around.
So what's the sort of, key features of having a good breakout space and all of that?
So we've got some really comfortable bean bags. We've got lots of resources that teach people how to use techniques such as mindfulness and body scanning to reground themselves. We've got a series of iPads that are all loaded up with Reach Out resources like Reach Out Worry Time, Reach Out Orb, Reach Out Breathe. All of these apps are assisting people optimizing their mental health. And they've also got some games that have been shown to be beneficial for mental health and well-being as well. So it's a space that you can come and use any way that you like. If you want to just come and sit and play on your phone for a little bit, that's also fine if you just want to come and listen to music. However you need to use it, that's what we're there for.
Okay, so what's your reception been here at AvCon? How have people responded to it?
It's the second year we've done AvCon, and we also do conventions all over Australia. It's universally very well received. We constantly get really good feedback from our guests saying that it was something that they really needed, that it was really useful for them to get the most out of the convention. And we often find that people say that they wouldn't have even been able to attend the con if it weren't for a space like this existing.
All right. Well, fantastic. Thanks, so much for being here and helping everyone, and thanks for giving me some of your time.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
Thanks.
So thanks to Budget for doing that interview at AVCon. That was really amazing to see. So from my nutritional medicine perspective, mindfulness is really important, not just when you're at conventions, but also in your everyday lives. So on the train, in the car, at school, before a meeting, you can use mindfulness to really help center and ground yourself. So that's kind of getting back in touch with your parasympathetic nervous system. I always mess that one up. And so that's what we call like your rest and digest. So that's when your body is concentrating on doing kind of the core restorative things. So it's focusing on relaxation, it's concentrating on digestion, and that's when you're really engaging in kind of de-stressing. So when you're at a con, or you're out at work and things are happening, it's really, really busy, you're kind of in like this sympathetic overload, and that can be really quite distressing for a lot of people, and you don't really realize it's happening. You're not breathing as deeply as you should, and a lot of people have really adverse kind of reactions. So I think we were talking about IBS before. Those people really are in like super sympathetic nervous system mode, and for them, doing something as simple as 2 minutes of mindfulness can really help dampen down and help relax them and get to that good space.
And if you didn't understand all of that, don't worry, we're going to do another episode that's dedicated to mindfulness and the games and apps that can help you in everyday life. But back to conventions.
Yes.
Money. Like, you've already spent a lot of money to get there, and not everyone has access to a lot of money. So there's always like so much temptation everywhere.
Oh yeah, basically conventions are great selling techniques. So they're there to sell you games, they're there to sell you art, they're there to sell you products, and it's wonderful because you can get so much information in one day. But I reckon go with a budget, set yourself out the amount of money that you can afford. Don't go into debt just because it's shiny and you kind of get up in the hype of it all. So set yourself a budget, pay in cash if you can. That's a great way to stick to it because you run out of money. And then also, if you see things that you really, really love, you can always take a photo with your phone or take a business card of the artist, and you can always buy it later on Etsy or whatever platform they are selling their
Basically,
wares on.
think of conventions as a giant catalogue, and all the goods are there, but you can buy and pick later. It's just
Exactly. They're not going anywhere. Sometimes they'll have exclusive discounts and things, but then you've got to really kind of weigh up, the cost of buying it then and there, and the cost of, potentially not having the money later when you need it for something like petrol or food.
And talking about like being in a space with so many things and so many people, you have to remember that mass is people and individuals, and to respect them.
They're not just, obstacles that are in your way from getting to a booth or getting to someone. They're people who've also paid to be there and paid for the experience of going to the convention. So you've got to be mindful that, you've got to kind of wait your turn, or, say excuse me, say please, say thank you. Remember that these are people who are there to experience what you're there to experience. And, deep down, you have really similar interests. So, they're part of your tribe. They're part of your community.
And it's kind of one of those self-care ones where by giving out the care to other people, hopefully it will be returned to you. And if it's not, keep in mind that there's always employees and volunteers at conventions who are there to help make sure you are supported. And so if you do need them, go and seek them out, because that's what they're there for.
Yeah, they're there to make sure that you're having a great time, that other people are having a great time. They put a lot of effort. There's a lot of volunteers that go into these things to make sure that everyone has a really good time. And don't try to deal with things yourself because you don't really necessarily know how to do that or the best way to do it, but that's what they're there for. So use them, they're there to help. So giving feedback about what you liked and what you didn't like, and maybe instead of saying, it was just crap, say it was not great because X, and then maybe say how that they could improve that. Like there wasn't enough, accessibility for people with prams and wheelchairs, where they might need those, and constructive criticism as well as positive feedback, so they can make these even better and greater for all of us.
Yeah, if there's a reach out room and there's plenty of water fountains and you saw a ramp and you're like, this is amazing, this is great, tell them tell them, because when you tell them the convention, like later on, even if it's like a week later, it's probably even better when it's all calmed down. Tell the organisers, so when they organise it next year, they make sure that these things are included and that they're worth spending the money on. And even if it didn't personally affect you, say, like I can get down up and downstairs fine, but if you see someone who needs ramps or no ramps, basically, it helps them out. And like unisex bathrooms, if they've got those, some people really appreciate that. So if they've included that, tell them they've done a great job. Or if it's something you feel like they really should include, tell them that as well.
It's all about making it fun and accessible for everyone involved. And especially with things like the reach out room, a lot of people who use it might not give a positive feedback on the day or might not feel comfortable contacting the venue after. But the more positive feedback they get about these things, the more people realize that actual mental health is actually really important and that it's a real thing and that people need support. And by providing those resources, it really helps people. And we should, be all for it.
The number one thing about self-care at conventions is have fun and make sure that you're supporting the people around you to have fun.
Yes.
And then if you're not having fun, think about stop and take a moment and figure out to either relax, seek help, and find a way to make it more enjoyable for yourself.
Have some water, eat some food, take some breaths, take a moment, then dive back in.
So, hope you have a great convention, whatever it may be. And until next time,
Happy to say.
see ya!